Live from Los Angeles, here's Everyway Woman.
Welcome to Everyway Woman. I'm Sehnita Joshua Madison, and it's time for some open dialogue. Now, ladies, is it time to execute the death penalty? A new study was just out saying that California spent over $400 million to execute 13 inmates in the last 30 years, over and above what it would have cost to put them in, give them life in prison without parole. What do you think about this? Is it time to do away with it?
I think absolutely we should get rid of the death penalty for a host of reasons, but we have only executed 13 people in 30 years, and 71 have died from natural causes on death row. And it usually takes about 25 years before you were even looking at executing someone. So we're wasting a lot of money, and we have huge
if we
deficits.
would just execute the people, we wouldn't be wasting all this money.
I agree with Natasha. I think we have a system that doesn't work. I think it's wasting money. I think we need to revamp the system and definitely just start new. We don't have to have them wait however many years and lethal injection.
And what about the victims? Because the problem is when you have life without parole, it doesn't actually necessarily mean life without parole, because eventually the witnesses die. People forget to don't keep coming to court, and eventually they'll let these people out. Mm-hmm. So there is a good chance, even if you have life without parole, there's still a chance that you can still leave.
Well, we still have Charles Manson behind bars, and what about
one person?
What about
and
all
he's
those
behind
people?
bars because he always acts crazy purposely.
What
so
about all of those people who have been exonerated?
That's
who
right.
have spent life in
That's
prison?
very few people.
That is a lot.
And
of people.
we are
That's
one
very
of
few
most of
people.
the civilized countries have actually done away with the death penalty. The number one killers, we're number 5. China, North Korea, Yemen, Iran, and the United States. Those are the ones who kill the most people to the death.
We have violent criminals here too.
There are violent criminals
If
all
someone
over the
kills
world.
your family,
It's
This
time to
is what
have-
I think, an eye for an eye. I mean, we just need to revamp the system. We don't have to do, things the whole hard way. I mean, I'm not saying bring hanging back. I'm not saying, bring shoot him in the head execution style, but something that doesn't cost taxpayers a lot of money. Something after a DNA test, something serious, something that can prove,
And there's DNA evidence now, so that the new people who are on death row, we're not going to have this problem.
Right.
Honestly,
and
that's blood on my hands that I don't want.
But it's a good deterrent.
It's
Guys,
not a deterrent.
It's not a
It is a
deterrent.
deterrent. If
Study
you get it
that
on
says that.
TV,
That
it's a
person,
deterrent.
It is
that
not a
person who got the
deterrent.
death penalty is deterred.
Louisiana has the most number of death penalty deaths that occur, and it also has the highest crime rate. So
That's
what is
why
it
they need
deterring?
so many
What
deaths.
is it
It
deterring?
deters that person.
There are plenty
But,
of
here's my
states
question.
that don't have the death penalty that have lower
Here's my
crime
question.
rates.
That's right.
Here's my question. Person X kills this person. That person's family is suffering. They're dead. The loved ones are suffering. Who gives the right for this person, this murderer, this killer, to live? That's not fair.
And
That's not fair. He's still living in
So
breathing.
should we just automatically just kill everyone
You know
who
what?
commits
Somebody-
any sort of murder?
I've been
and
we
even
need
in
to
self-defense?
revamp the system. Absolutely.
Somebody shot my father. That person, the police never looked for.
You say eye
So
for an
I
eye.
would- yes, he
that's,
should have
that's
had an
one
eye for an
system.
eye.
If we're looking at the Bible as our basis
We're not
for this,
looking for
there's
the
also
Bible,
there's
but
also
there's
something that says
victims.
vengeance is mine. We leave it to the system. We leave it to the system to take care
Well,
of
the
that.
system
We're
doesn't
not
always
looking
take care
for.
of
We
things.
can't
The
be
system is
looking for
flawed. The
vengeance
system- I
through
mean,
this. It's not about punishment. It's about punishment, but it's not about vengeance. That's the wrong
Why
kind
isn't
of
it
emotion.
about vengeance?
Because then where do you stop with that?
Yeah, I mean,
You
it's
know,
a
If you
slippery
kill
slope.
somebody,
to-
you do something to some kids, there's vengeance.
I
there.
mean, some
I'm gonna
countries,
kill
if
him,
you steal
he's gonna
something,
kill
they
my
cut off
family,
your
they're
hand.
gonna
But that's
kill
a little
their other
extreme.
family.
Exactly.
We
This
don't
is
live in
still
a
the
terrorist
United
country.
States.
Yeah, this is still
Exactly.
United States of America. We need to just revamp
This
our
is
system.
in
There's
Albania.
frivolous lawsuits all over the place.
Well, when we say we need to, this is the United States of America. I, for one, I don't stand behind the death penalty. That's not what the United States of
So
America.
if someone goes and kills someone or rapes someone or performs mayhem, cuts off limbs and whatever else that's disturbing, we're just supposed to leave them alone.
Yeah, how can that person
No,
be
we put them in
rehabilitated?
jail.
put
There
them
are
in
various
jail. But they still
procedures.
have
They
their
have a
limbs.
good time in jail.
Yeah.
So you're
Jail
saying
is
They
not
get
a bad
food,
place.
They
So
get
now
to,
it's
they
not
get to
bad.
exercise.
Yes, they get to be in bands. They get to hang out with their friends all day. They get free
And
medical
if Johnny
care.
Carson was still alive, he'd be performing there for free.
They get better dental care than I do.
Or Johnny Cash. Yeah.
So
they
you
do
agree
well.
with the countries, for example, when you steal something and they cut off your hand?
No.
You kill somebody. Did I say that? No,
Well,
I didn't.
no.
Why
But as like I said, my father was murdered. So in that case, yes. I wish they would have caught that person and given him the death penalty.
Absolutely.
But they didn't.
Well, obviously it's much tougher when it's a personal situation. I, for one, have decided for myself, if anything like that happened to my family member,
Has it ever happened to your family?
It hasn't, but that's why I
Well,
want to
my
make the
grandfather
decision
was
without
murdered,
emotion.
and I don't support the death penalty. So I think it just depends. The individual may have a different view. I mean,
Well,
it's
I say
person to
televise it
person.
and deter other people from killing and raping and performing disgusting acts.
Yes, and
that-
people who do things
Okay.
to children, they should
Well,
not be
exactly.
alive.
Speaking of people going postal, let's talk about the post office. Let's switch this around a little bit. The post office is struggling. We all have heard that. They're thinking about closing 3,700 post offices, laying off people. What do you think? Do you think that the post office is an outdated system with, the electronic
I think
age?
post office employees are bad. If they would, if it wasn't so unionized and they would fire people, they'd have better employees.
Yeah, they
But
made
every
a
time you go
contract
to the-
apparently with the unions
Yeah.
that they can't fire. So now they have to go to Congress to try to get that overturned. And I mean, I support the post office, but I just think that it doesn't need to be open as much as it is. I think maybe 3 days a week. I think that we don't need to have as many boxes as we have. We do need to fire employees and get it under control, because 80% of the cost of the post office goes towards salaries, whereas
Right.
if you look at FedEx, it's only 32%.
Right,
So
salaries
it's
and
just
their
not
healthcare.
efficient, but it
It's
could
not.
be made to be more efficient, I believe.
But when we
Absolutely.
look at the percentage of what FedEx is paying, we also don't know their overall costs. So they might be spending the same amount on their employees, given their budgets. I mean,
No,
obviously,
they don't. FedEx
But
employees
FedEx
do not have the same
FedEx
benefits
is
as
privately
post
run.
office.
Post
Yeah.
office is by the government. So,
So
I
they
mean,
have government
look at the
benefits,
DMV.
pensions.
You go in
Right.
there, they're lazy. There's like 50 people in line, and the other person's picking
and
their
they're
teeth.
rude.
well, I don't know. I go to a post office
very
where they're
rude.
great. So
Yeah.
That
it
one
just
post
depends.
That depends. One on your side of the globe, one on my
And
side.
I've gone to FedEx and have had the same issues. It just depends on the people.
But see, the good
involved.
thing is when you have a bad experience at FedEx or UPS, you can complain. You can call and you can complain, and things will turn around. With the government, what are you going to do? Sit there on hold?
And I have to pay part of your salary and your pension to get bad service.
Well, speaking of benefits, there's a new law talking about food stamps. And, before there was a provision in food stamps that you couldn't use that money on prepared foods. But now, of course, the restaurant industry, they're trying to get at those funds. And they're trying to allow food stamps to be used at restaurants like McDonald's. What do you think about that?
I actually support it. I mean, right now there is an exception for people who are disabled or homeless or elderly. And I mean, in my view, frozen food is prepared food. I mean, you get a frozen dinner. To me, that's already
And
a
it
prepared
keeps
food.
the restaurants in business,
And
because that's money
sometimes-
that goes to the
Yeah,
restaurants.
sometimes the restaurant's not even as expensive as the grocery store. So it kind
Well,
of
I
depends.
totally disagree with you guys, and my theory on that is you have a couple of people, I mean, not everybody's adequate or prepared enough to be a parent, let alone a good parent. That takes hard work. I mean, what's to say? There's a lot of people that do damage to their kids and starve them for punishment. What's to say, hey, you guys sit here, or, you do a bad thing, I'll punish you, I'll lock you in the closet.
Starves their kids for
Oh, a lot of people. It was on the news. And they go out to a restaurant, and who's to say they're going to feed the kids?
if they're in
At least if
public,
you
they
have
have
to
to be
you
eating.
might be able to get them fed if you go to a restaurant
You have
versus
a-
at
yeah.
home.
But that's
You
not
have
fair.
a
A lot
better
of people
chance to
work
get fed at a
hard for a
restaurant.
$50 steak dinner, and then you get people that are on food stamps. Like that's
Well,
just not
if they
cool.
want to use their food stamps.
All right, well, we have more open dialogue coming up next. Welcome back. Join us again at Everyway Woman.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Everyway Woman. Here's Everyway Woman.
Welcome back to Everyway Woman. We're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of 9/11, and it's such an event that really changed this whole country. How do you think it changed you? What's been the biggest impact in your life?
The biggest impact for me has been that I've been now more aware that at any time anything could happen right here in the U.S. And it's given me more of a global perspective, because previous, when I heard about different terrorist activities, it was always overseas. But to hear about it right here in the U.S., that's changed my mindset a lot.
It had, and for me as well, in that way, that I personally wasn't affected because I didn't know people who had died in 9/11. But I feel like in that way, globally, it has opened my eyes, where I have now looked at other countries and said, well, what's going on over there? And why do these other countries hate us so much as Americans?
Right, and like it's made me more compassionate towards what's going on in these other countries,
Right.
because previous I would see different things on the news and I'd be like, well, that's sad, but now I see that's sad and it could happen right here.
Well, for me, it was about awareness, because before 9/11, I mean, I was in my early 20s. I was very self-involved. It was just about what was going on in my life, my latest boyfriend, and when 9/11 happened, that changed me completely. It was a very big growing up experience for me. It made me realize that there were things happening outside of my world, and I never knew that terrorist acts like that could happen in our country. You know, it really changed my perspective on the world.
Even though it was 10 years ago, I mean, we're still recovering from that, I think.
We don't even, Ground Zero is still kind of standing the way it was before. We don't have a memorial there yet. It's kind of hard because it feels like as a country we lost our innocence.
Yes, exactly. Because, and I feel like that even now as we were going back and we see a lot of videos about what's happened and how people are recovering and all these things. But I feel like it was also a really big lesson in us as a country, showing us how young we were, because I think the way that we behaved as a country on a government level was very childish, and in the way that it affected us directly in our homes, in the way that it affected our financial world, how people feel emotionally, the depression that they're going through. I mean, those are still things I think that I'm feeling still from people around me. Is yes, we picked up the pieces, but we still haven't really put them all back together.
We have not recovered. No, I think we're still processing, you know, what it meant to us and how we go forward. How do we remain a superpower? Obviously, right now too, with all the economy the way it is, you know, there's so much going on, and we'll never
like
get back.
Personally, one of the things it did for me was it made me more politically active, because it made me want to get up and see what can I do personally to help this country. And I know sometimes you say one person can't do a lot, but if everybody starts getting more politically active, I think that's helped, because I think it wasn't just me who decided they needed to be more aware and find out what's going on in the White House and what's going on in all these different political offices. I think that really helped to make people more aware of what's going on.
Do you think we are more engaged?
Yes.
Politically?
I think we are. I think we have to be at this point. I mean,
citizens.
this was something big that happened on our soil, you know, and that I think as in the United States, we're used to seeing these things on the news, not in our country. So we have to be engaged.
But I also think that it's that mentality that says this was something big that happened on our soil. It's really one isolated incident. When you look at what's happening globally in other countries, this is something that's happening to them on a regular basis. And I think that was the point that they were making in 9/11, that they were actually successful in what it was, the message that they wanted to send to us. And they were successful in that.
And they were trying to tear down our economy.
And they were successful.
I was just going to say that I feel terrible saying it, that they had success in that, but really they did. I mean, 10 years later, here we are as a nation, still struggling to find jobs. I mean, look at our stock market. I mean, the economy has definitely taken a toll, and I think a huge part of that was because of 9/11.
Well, I think, you know, initially when it happened, it was that, you know, we all came together. We were like, we are Americans. No one is going to bring us down like that. We came together, and it was a beautiful thing. But now we're processing
But see, we only came together for a short period of time.
Absolutely.
Like some of the things that they're doing to the first responders, like not giving them health insurance and health care for things that happened to them. And they were there. They were there for us. They were there for their country, for the people that, and our government went, oh, well, you know, we're sorry that most of you are sick, but you know, that it's not because, you know, we're not going to help you. I mean,
when it first happened, there was such a big show of patriotism, and there were flags flying, and everyone was, you know, doing all this patriotic things. And now those same flags are now getting kind of tattered, and people
are we still remembering? Is what it really comes down to.
We are remembering this weekend, and you know, there's so much that we can still do going forward. So, come back to Everyday Woman.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Everyday Woman.
I'm Stacey Lewis with another Back to Basics secret for school shopping. Moms and dads, make a list, take the list, and leave the kids at home for no extras. Also, contact your favorite discount stores and make sure that you're on their newsletters so that you can receive coupons. Also, buy in bulk. Therefore, you will have school material all year long. But most importantly, generic is good. It doesn't have to be the name brand. It can be just as well as generic. And finally, one of my favorite secrets is at the end of the school year, don't just dump the backpack. Open up the backpack and see if you have any leftover pencils and crayons. They never go bad. That's another Back to Basics secret with Stacey Lewis. Have a great school year.
Here's Everyday Woman.
Hi, I'm Nataly Tavidian, your young professional. Today we're talking about the Cordon Bleu scandal. Ladies, several students are suing this cooking school, a for-profit culinary arts school, because they can't get jobs after graduation. How do you feel about that?
Well, the Cordon Bleu, they just show these commercials. They have all these flashy commercials. Then they have recruiters that con the students and say, oh, this is much better than going to a regular college. But it's like, can't these people Google how to be a chef and see that you don't have to spend all that money to go to a college?
I think it matters too when they started what kind of contract, what their agreements are, because some colleges do promise certain things that if you complete their courses, but if they're over-promising, then absolutely.
And that's what they're arguing. They're arguing that
if they can prove that they're over-promising, then absolutely, that's
And I
not
read in
okay.
an article about one student that graduated. She wanted to open up her own bakery, but obviously needs some experience before she does that. And the only thing she found is an overnight shift at $8 an hour.
Well, I guess she got a job then, huh? That's better than a lot of people out there. So, you know, I definitely agree if that's in the contract, they're promising jobs, you know, they have to fulfill that. But welcome to the real world. You know what? A lot of us have gone to college and come out. It's just the way the world is right now. There's not a job waiting for you. So figure something out.
Their argument is that they're being forced to take out loans too. They're being encouraged to take out loans.
But that's crazy. I mean, these people, no wonder they don't have a job.
To have to pay for it. And speaking about loans, some other students are trying to find different ways to pay off their school loans. And they're trying to hire sugar daddies, and there's actually a website promoting it. So I was reading in an article, this girl is Googling college debt, how to pay off college loans, and she comes across a sugar daddy website. And basically they're trading sex for paying off college loans.
Well, that's how long is she gonna be in college for? I mean, every stripper is a college student supposedly. That's been going on a long time.
Very unconventional way to make money.
If you're a creative person, you can figure it out. I mean, people have been paying off student loans for decades, and you don't need somebody else to.
And you can always join the military and have a GI Bill.
See, and there are other options. There are so many options out there, and students don't know that they can also put off their college loans. You can keep putting off your college loans for as long as you want.
Yeah, that's just
pretty much if you don't have a full-time job.
That is just
if you have a sugar daddy, why are you going to go to college anyway, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
you're joining a website to find seekingarrangement.com.
They just want the easy way out. They don't want to have to be responsible for the debt that they've incurred, whether it's a high credit card bill or a student loan. You need to be the responsible person
and it depends on who you get, because sometimes it's not that easy.
And here's the thing, the website promotes signing up as a sugar baby, completely free for women, and it's also promoting men cheating on wives. It's
you don't need
completely
a website to
private for the.
This is just a matchmaker site.
And sugar babies don't have any money,
well,
so
because
of course
the women
it's gonna have to be free for them.
Well, because the women don't have to pay, it makes the men not have morals. I don't understand the correlation there.
Neither side has morals in that
but
situation.
But I don't understand the correlation because there are just so many women that are signing up that all of a sudden men just can't help themselves.
Well, usually, let's take the situation of Anna Nicole. The sugar daddies might need to have, might need that extra incentive to get the women on board.
So we basically really want to let women know that there are other options, ladies. There are so many other things that you can do to pay off your college loans. Thank you for watching Young Professionals. We'll be right back.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Every Way Woman.
Let's go! When it's time for lunch, a sandwich is a quick and easy choice. And with the right ingredients, it can be good and good for you. So I'm here today to see who can build the ultimate sandwich. All right, when the time is up, our judges will give you their scores. Ready, set, go! Okay, Jason starts out with a multi-grain roll. Ooh, Allison stuffing her pita with, yes, spinach, a great source of iron. Jason isn't skipping on the protein, adding plenty of smoked turkey, just like Allison's putting the finishing touches with crispy red bell peppers for a dose of vitamin A. Time! It looks like we have a tie. We'll need to call in our special guest referee.
Now, these are what I call quick, delicious lunches. Whole grain breads, a whole variety of ingredients. There are so many different ways to build delicious, healthy sandwiches. These two get high marks in every category. I'd say you're both winners. America.
Let's get healthy together.
Here's Every Way Woman.
And today with us, we have the lovely Michelle Rivera from Mommyhood to Hollywood.
Now, you have been so busy. tell us what all have you been doing
Well,
with Mommyhood to Hollywood.
Well, first I want to say thank you for saying Mommyhood instead of Mommy would. You know, I've actually been really busy. I'm going to make an announcement here on Everyway Woman that I haven't really formally announced yet. But I am launching Mommyhood to Hollywood as an online magazine. So it's no longer going to be just a blog anymore.
Yay.
So it is going to be an online magazine starting October 1st. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm also a Yahoo contributor writer now. I just had my first piece printed on Yahoo, so I was really excited about that in the entertainment page. So I did an interview with Lifetime TV's Renata Krumer of Russian Dolls. So that's been
nice.
Yeah, so it's been fun. And then also I'm a spokesperson for this really cool website called TaskRabbit.com. And basically, you know, busy women, busy moms, we can all use a personal assistant, and this is almost like what this is. I mean, we can't afford a personal assistant, like the celebrities,
use one.
but with TaskRabbit, you can. Basically, you post a task, and then their task rabbits, who are people within your community, will go out and do that task for you, and you name the price. So it's really cool. You name the price, and then they bid for you to choose them.
So what kind of task?
It could be anything, like I don't want to stand in line at the DMV. So I can do something else more valuable with my time. You stand in line for me, and then they can give you a call when you're almost up, and you can meet them there. Or, you know, I'd rather be hanging out with my little girl at the park. Can you be at my house folding laundry? But the best thing about this is that everybody who's a TaskRabbit is fully vetted. They go through a full application process, a federal criminal check. They have to do a video interview. So basically,
So you don't have to worry about all
you
your
don't have to
stuff
worry.
missing.
Yes, you don't have to worry about the person doing the task. So it's a digital community, so it's really great.
That sounds awesome. You don't have to get a nanny or anything. You just want a couple
I'm really
hours
excited about that. Yeah, so I'm really proud to be the spokesperson of that. And then moving on from that, of course, we always have our fun celebrity news. Did anybody watch the VMAs this year at all?
Well, I
The
watched
MTV
Beyonce.
Okay.
That was my favorite part. I thought that's what I want to talk about.
That's
New baby bump.
Not a baby bump yet. But basically, if you saw it, she announced her pregnancy at the VMAs, and she did it in a very, I think this was the most unique way ever. She performed, and she said she's performing Love on Top, and basically she told the crowd, I want you to feel the love that's growing inside of me. And at the end of the performance, she opened up her jacket and she rubbed her baby bump, so everybody could see that she was pregnant. So it was
it was
real.
real.
Yeah,
It was like a pillow in there.
No,
Been eating a lot of fried chicken.
It was like the most awesome announcement ever, and of course
was.
everybody went crazy. But I loved it because usually you just see people like on People magazine or something, which I love People. But oh, I'm pregnant. But this was seriously the most unique baby announcement I have seen.
Only Beyonce could do it that way, right?
Oh, and she looked gorgeous. I mean,
she always looks gorgeous.
you didn't know she was pregnant until she opened up that jacket. So it was all about the baby bump. So we're very happy and excited for them.
And good for her.
Yeah, I'm not sure when the baby's due. I haven't heard anything about that, and I think she's still probably a little too soon to know what she's expecting. But I'm sure we'll be hearing all that soon.
Well, she kept all of this under wraps, so maybe not. Huh?
Yeah, that seems to be the thing right now with all the celebrities. They're not really putting out there the sex of the baby or their due dates, or sometimes
they're
doing
trying to get money
estimate.
from.
That's true. No, you do. They do get a lot of deals on exclusives. But what's great about a lot of celebrities is that they do a lot of times donate that money to charities, because really, who needs to make extra money when you're a celebrity just on the announcement of your baby?
Well, also too with all the reality shows and everything.
Yes.
These people, it's a business to have a baby on camera.
Yes. And everybody, speaking of reality shows, and this is kind of off topic, but everybody's watching Kim Kardashian now.
Yes, with their big wedding.
Everybody's
Well, they're
waiting
already.
for.
I'm sure you already know this. They're already talking about that. Her and Chris are planning.
They want a baby.
They want lots because Kim's from a big family.
Yes.
And he's a little young, but he's really excited.
As long as the show lasts, as long as they have a contract.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think that.
I want to find out how they're going to announce how they conceived or all.
Well,
it's all going to be
out
there.
It'll all be on
the
TV.
delivery room.
I'm sure E will get the exclusive on that with their show.
24/7.
Yeah.
We will know everything.
And we tend to focus a lot on moms in Hollywood, but I kind of wanted to focus on some expected daddies in Hollywood. So we have Robert Downey Jr. and his wife Susan Downey, and they're expecting their first child together, and the baby is due in early 2012. But once again, we do not have a due date. They just said early 2012, and we do not have a baby, like a the sex of the baby.
But that's so exciting for Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
With everything he's gone through.
And I like the fact too that he's married to his baby's mama. That's the other thing I like about Beyonce, because it's so nice to finally have people having children and not have to take a paternity test.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of common sometimes in Hollywood. Now the next expectant daddy is Jason Bateman. And him and his wife, Anka, another wife, see they're married, expecting a second child, and they're having a baby girl, I believe. Aww. And they already have a daughter, 4.5-year-old Francesca, so they're very excited about that.
And I remember him growing up watching him on TV, and now he's got 2 kids. And
he feels
outdone
like
me.
Yeah.
And me too.
You can catch up.
Yeah, right. Now, there was a little controversy recently in Hollywood. Mel B gave birth to her baby. She had a baby girl, of course. We're very No, she's with her husband. So she had a baby girl with her husband. Yeah, and they're very excited about that. But her labor pictures were caught on camera with TMZ, and literally she is in pain. You can see it while she's walking.
That's not right.
Yeah, but that's what she wanted to do. What else how else she gonna make money?
Well, I don't know if that. I mean, I saw those pictures. It didn't look like she was trying to make money.
Yeah, I mean, it was really. Genuinely, she was in labor. This was not staged.
When my water broke with my firstborn, we went to the hospital and I had severe contractions. I was in pain. My husband decides to take out the camera and take pictures, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill you.
And you didn't get any money for that.
No, it was all free.
But you know what? I have to say, she seems to be taking in stride. I haven't heard any reports of her being upset about it, but I mean, it was blasted through the internet.
That's not cool.
Yeah,
it's not cool. It's such a sacred moment.
Exactly.
You know? And
it was not staged. I mean, her face shows pain in these pictures.
Yeah.
And then the very next day, they had their announcement of their baby girl. So we all know this wasn't a staged thing.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Will you please come back?
Of course.
Yes,
actually,
please come back.
I have
a Mommyhood to Hollywood.
I'll share it next show.
All right. Thank you very much for watching Every Way Woman, and please come back.
This has been an Every Way Woman production.